Best free text-to-image AI generator. Create realistic AI images using text prompts. OpenArt is one of the best free text-to-image AI tools you can use. It lets you generate realistic images, products, and cinematic scenes just by typing text prompts. You don't need design skills, and the free version is more than enough to get high-quality results. So first of all, you're going to open OpenArt in your web browser and then sign in. Sign in with your email, and once you have signed in, you will land over here. Now, if you go over to the left over here, we are currently at home. And then if you go down, you have story, video, image, character, audio, and we know that we are going to generate images. So this is where we need to go. Click on images over here, and that will bring you up here. And then over here again, if you go to the left, you have several options for image as well. You can create image, you can edit image, you can create a character, you can upscale your images, and you can also bulk create. And then you have face realism. So you have all these options for images, but basically we are here for image generation with AI. So we are just going to click on create image over here, and this is what our workspace is going to look like. Now this area over here is where your photos that have been generated are going to appear. So those are going to be here, and you can select them and you can delete them and take them forward for any kind of editing later. You can also put them in albums. So we're at the generation section right now. You could place those in albums, and then you could view your editing history from here, and these are your bulk creations. So that's it for this section. Over here you have all your settings, which you will be using in order to generate your image. So first of all, you have your custom settings. This is, if you click down here, you could save those. You could have no settings, and then you also have some by OpenArt, which you could select, and you can keep those as your settings if you want to include that. Then after that, you have your model or character. So if we had a character that we were using, we would have selected it over here, and that would be displayed here, and then that character would be used for generating different kinds of images related to that. Now we are not doing character for now, and we have our model over here. So the model being used to generate our images is Seedream 4.5. And if you wanted to switch any of that, you could go here and you could select a different model if you wanted to use that. So you also have Kling 01, you have Seedream 4.0, and then you have Nano Banana Pro as well. And you have all these different options that you could choose from. These models are also available. Now I'm just going to use the model set by default here. And then we're going to go down towards our prompt. Now the prompt is the most important part. Over here is where you are going to describe what kind of a image you want to generate. So you want to be very clear in describing it, and you want to brief words, and also know in your mind very clearly what you really need. So this is the prompt over here where the text is going to go, and then you have the undo option and you have image to prompt. If you click here, you can upload an image, you can drag and drop an image, and then over here in this section, you can generate the text prompt for that. So you can generate the prompt if you're not sure what kind of a prompt you want to put in. You can upload an image, and then you can get a prompt for that in text, and then you're going to click here, you can use that prompt. So, and then over here, you just right click and you'd paste that prompt. So you could use a prompt, you could ask AI to generate a prompt for you from another image with your own, and then you could make your changes to that prompt as well. So you could do that. And then if you go down, you also have image guidance. So any kind of guidance that you could give to the AI through an image, that would be included up here. You can drag and drop up to 14 images here. So you can have backgrounds or characters or any items, and then you could combine those. So you could upload those images here, and then you could type in a prompt explaining exactly what you want, what kind of combination you want. You want the background, the reference background, and then you want the character there. So you could upload images and combine those very freely in the prompt, and then you could generate an image from there. So we will be trying all that out, and then you have your output settings. So let's just click on that. And for output settings, we have our aspect ratio, Currently, it is horizontal 4:3. So you have all of these options. Now, if you want to create a cinematic image, then you would go down here. If you're creating something for social media, for example, Instagram, you might want to go for these vertical screen options. You also have widescreen and then these options. So we're just going to stay with the default for now. And then you have your resolution, which is 2K and 4K. So you have these two options. And then the number of images that would be generated from the prompt. So you have 2 right now. Or you could make that 1 or you could make that 4. If you want to have more options to select from, you should do 4. And then you could select the best one from there. So this area is where the image that you generate will appear. And then over here, you have all your settings to generate your image. Now up at the top, this is your custom settings. Now you have none for now. So we have none for now, but you could save your settings or select a custom setting from here provided by OpenArt. Now we're not going to do that. Down here, the model being used is Seedream 4.5. And if you want to switch that, you just click here and you can select any of these other models as well if you want. If we had a character that we were using, then that would be up here. And then you have your prompt box over here. So you can type in your prompt, which we will be doing. Now, if you're not sure about the prompt, you could also generate a prompt through an image. You upload an image over here, they would generate a text prompt for you. So any reference image you could put in here and you could generate a prompt for that, edit that prompt, and then click on use prompt and use that prompt over here. Now we know our prompt, so we're just going to paste that in. And it says photorealistic portrait of a young woman, natural skin texture, soft studio lighting, neutral background, sharp focus, realistic facial features, and high detail. So that is our prompt. And then let's go down. It says image guidance over here. Over here, you can upload any images up to 14 actually. So you can upload those images and then guide the AI to generate an image according to that image reference. So these are going to be the references that you can give. And then we're not going to include any of those. And then you have your output settings over here, aspect ratio. We're going to keep the default setting. You could go for a vertical version if you're doing something for social media like Instagram, or cinematic if you're doing that. So we're just going to keep that. And then you have the resolution. We have it set to 2K. You could go for 4K if you wanted. And then you have the number of images that will be generated per prompt. So we have 2 over here. You could make it 1 or you could make it 4 as well if you want to be really extra careful and make sure that you get in an option that you really, really like. So this is it. We're going to go down and we're going to click on create. So this is the most popular use case, which is a realistic portrait, which we entered in the prompt for. And these are the 2 images which have been generated. So let me zoom in and show you these. These are the 2 images. Let's view them. So this is the first image, and then these are the tools that you can use to make changes with. You also have the upscale option, and then you have the prompt here as well. And then you can move it to albums and whatever. And this is our second image, and you have the editing options as well. And this is the image that has been generated. Now it is absolutely consistent with our prompt. We wanted a photorealistic portrait of a young woman and natural skin texture, soft studio lighting, and we do have that. There is a neutral background, there is sharp focus, and we have realistic facial features exactly. And there is high detail as well. So very accurate and absolutely how I wanted. All right, so now let's go ahead and create an image, or let's generate an image for something different. All right, so now let's go ahead and generate a different kind of image. So let's erase that prompt and I'm going to paste in a different prompt. So now the prompt is minimal product photo of a black wireless headphone on a clean white background. Soft shadows, studio lighting, high detail, realistic texture. So the rest of the settings are going to remain the same, and I'm just going to click on create. And there we go. This is the image that has been generated. So this kind of an image, when generated, is basically a product style image. And this is really great for ads and thumbnails. So you can use this image, you can edit it however you like, and you can use it for thumbnails or any kind of a poster, whatever thing you need it for. So now after that, let's go up and let's do something different. Let's do something creative next. So let's do a cinematic scene. So for this cinematic scene, this is the prompt that I'm going to type in. And this is really going to show you how OpenArt handles lighting and depth and atmosphere. So the prompt says a cinematic wide shot of a futuristic city street, neon lights, rain reflections on the road, cyberpunk style, cinematic. And the prompt says a cinematic wide shot of a futuristic city street at night, neon lights, rain reflections on the road, cyberpunk style, dramatic lighting, ultra detailed. So this is the prompt. The rest of the settings are going to stay the same. I'm only going to change the aspect ratio to cinematic, and we're going to click on create. And here we have the image that has been generated. It is according to the prompt that we gave. It's a cinematic wide shot, and it's a futuristic city, and there are neon lights and rain and the reflection. So exactly how we prompted. So the prompts over here are really important. If you use just a few simple rules regarding the prompt, then you would always be able to actually get them to work. So you always want to mention the kind of lighting that you want. So like over here we did, and then in these images as well, we always mentioned the kind of lighting that we want. So mention the lighting, and then also add style keywords like photorealistic or cinematic. That is really going to help you out. You want to also keep the prompts clean and descriptive. So no excessive words. Make sure it's very clean, and just make sure they're very descriptive words. Now, if your results aren't good, you want to tweak one word at a time and then see the results. Avoid very long prompts in the beginning. Now you know how to create realistic portraits, product images, and cinematic scenes, all using simple text prompts using OpenArt.